wizard who tries to become a lich but fails might become a Boneclaw instead. These hideous, cackling undead share a few of the lich's attributes, but where liches are immortal masters of the arcane, Boneclaws are slaves to darkness, hatred, and pain. The most important part of the transformation ritual occurs when the soul of the aspiring lich migrates to a prepared phylactery. If the spellcaster is too physically or magically weak to compel the soul into its prison, the soul instead seeks out a new master, a humanoid within a few miles who has an unusually hate-filled heart. The soul bonds itself to the foul essence it finds in that person, and the Boneclaw becomes forever enslaved to its new master's wishes and subconscious whims. It forms near its master, sometimes appearing before that individual to receive orders, and other times simply setting about the fulfillment of its master's desires. A Boneclaw can't be destroyed while its master lives. No matter what happens to a Boneclaw's body, it reforms within hours, and returns to whatever duty its master assigned. The Boneclaw can only serve evil. If its master finds redemption or sincerely turns away from the path of evil, the Boneclaw is permanently destroyed. Boneclaws delight in murder, and nothing pleases them more than causing horrific pain. They lurk like spiders in shadowy recesses, waiting for victims to approach within reach of their long, bony limbs. Once speared, a creature is pulled into the darkness to be sliced apart or teleported elsewhere to be tortured to death. A Boneclaw's master might not want such a servant or even know it has one. Boneclaws bind to petty criminals, bullies, and even particularly cruel children. Even if the master is unaware of its new horrid bodyguard, its local area will be plagued by disappearances and grisly murders, tied together by the common thread of the master's envy or hunger for revenge. When I first read the description of a Boneclaw, I was running Dragon of Icespire Peak, and I was looking through the subsequent modules to get a better understanding of the story, and I saw the art for it first, and it just looked impressive, like some sort of Resident Evil monster in D&D, and I was like, what is this creature? And after reading that description about it, I was excited to see how the module used it. And I flipped to the page that it was on, and it walks out of the bushes and attacks the party. If the party consists of 5 or more with sidekicks, then 2 walk out. I was so disappointed, because my head was flooding with different ideas of how to use this creature, and it was a little bit more than it walks out of the bushes. But before I get into some of the stuff that I had thought of, let's take a look at this creature's stat block. So one of the first things I noticed about it was at a CR 12. And even though it's a CR 12, its AC is only 16, 127 hit points. It's not terribly difficult to kill. However, it does have some fun offense to it. It does 3d10 piercing damage on a +8 to hit with 15-foot range. It can grapple the creature and then jump through the shadows with them, taking away an ally. So that you get some fun with that, of kidnapping either PCs or NPCs even. And it also has the thing that if a fighter charges into its space, it can make a reaction, impaling it and keeping it 15 feet away. So there's some fun offense to it, but again, a strong enough level party is going to tear it apart in a couple rounds. But it's that rejuvenation that makes this thing important. As long as the master is alive, it continually regenerates a body in 1d10 hours within a mile of the master. So this thing is less about the combat and more about the stories you can tell with it. let's say you have a barbarian who is aggressive with NPCs and flies off the handle a lot, playing into that rage aspect of a barbarian. Maybe one fight, the Boneclaw attaches itself to him, and then every argument he gets into ends with death and murder and carnage. And now the towns are trying to come after him, and nobody knows why. I mean, yeah, he got mad, but he didn't murder anything. Well, the Boneclaw did it for him. And now, how do you free the barbarian of this murderous entity? Or what if it got onto that angry child because the child was angry after being abused? Now, do you take out the parents in cold blood murder and teach the child with this evil sociopathic killer tied to its soul that killing is the way to go? I mean, you're creating another enemy right there. And are you going to kill the kid when they do use this weapon? And maybe the BBEG was formed because they found this weapon attached to them and they gave in to the darkness of it and used this unkillable weapon while hiding in the shadows as some everyday normal person. But again, I just thought the idea and the storytelling you could have with the Boneclaw was so much fun when I first read this, and maybe it's just me, but I don't see a lot of it. But I think it should be used more, and just making a video to bring more attention to it. And if you want, in the comments, you can let me know ideas you had for one after reading about it, or maybe you've experienced one in a game. That'd be fun to hear about. So just let me know, and let me know what you think of these videos. Hopefully I'll make more.